live stream, and then we are ready to rock and roll. All right, guys, let's do this. We good? We good? Are we good? All right, let's go. On the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Welcome back to the Better Body Academy podcast. This right here is the podcast that you come to when you are sick of the dumb diets and unsustainable workout programs. Now, in today's episode, we're going to be talking about the difficulty of fat loss. Okay, let's just get straight to the point. People are in two camps when it comes to fat loss. And this was evident on the coaching call that we did yesterday. Camp 1, people have no idea how to lose weight, right? They just have no idea. So give me a silent head nod. Let us know if you're watching on Instagram or across the different feeds. If you've got literally no idea how to lose weight, let me know if that's you. Or number 2, you understand what to do, but you just can't get yourself to actually do it, right? Why? Because it's hard. A calorie deficit, it sounds pretty simple. You got to move a bit more, eat a little bit less. Sounds pretty simple. Well, why are so many of us actually struggling? One of the problems is that doing the boring shit consistently is really, really hard. And this episode is about why being in a calorie deficit is so much harder on paper than it actually looks, and what it actually takes to get a body that is where you want to get to. Now, spoiler alert, it's not going to be any secret supplement or some magic meal plan. The truth is, it comes down to your ability to not quit, So let's first talk about why calorie deficits are so freaking hard. Because it's uncomfortable, it's repetitive, and it is mentally exhausting. I'm experiencing this firsthand right now. I've cut my calories by about 30%. So from maintenance at around 3,000 down to 2,000 calories, which is what we generally give our guys as a calorie deficit target. And cutting that calories down like that, holy shit, it is tough. Here are some things I've personally noticed. I am dreaming of food. What about you guys? Does that happen to you? When you go into a cut, do you dream of food? Last night I woke up at 3:30 a.m. I could not get back to sleep for the life of me. And so I went out and walked my 10,000 steps at 4 a.m. Went to the gym at 6 a.m. I was like done everything by 7 a.m. It's not because I was necessarily choosing that. I was literally dreaming of food and couldn't get back to sleep. Number 2, I am struggling to focus during the day at the moment. And that's partially due to the fact that you just don't have as much blood sugar that's getting to your brain. And number 3, what I'm noticing is that my sessions are feeling very fatigued at the moment, maybe low in energy. So if you're in a calorie deficit, or at least you're intending to get into a calorie deficit, what's happening is you are running out of petrol. This is why a calorie deficit leads to fat loss. And all a calorie deficit means, don't complicate it any more than this, all of the fuel that's coming into your body versus all of the fuel that you're burning up each day through just keeping you alive and activity, effectively, you're running out of fuel. So here are some things that you might notice being in a calorie deficit. Lower energy levels, even after a full night's sleep. The afternoon slump, it hits harder. You feel like you're dragging yourself through the day, and your training sessions feel a little bit underpowered. Number 2, this is a big one. Irritability and mood swings. You are pissed off a lot of the times at little things. You snap at your kids or your partners for no apparent reason. You feel hangry, right? Who's feeling that right now? Number 3 is trouble falling or staying asleep. And that's weird because you're tired during the day and then you get into bed and for some reason you just wake up hungry in the middle of the night. Well, it's not for some reason, it's obviously, and it's stopping you from getting into that deep, restful sleep. There's more tossing and turning. 4, you might have all of a sudden your focus is taken up by food and cravings, and you start almost like daydreaming about food and you're obsessing about your next meal. Even like you see ads on TV or YouTube or Netflix, and it's, oh my God, it's food, and it starts to kick off for you, right? You start negotiating with yourself. Just a little bit won't hurt. What about the brain fog? I mean, for me, the brain fog is clear. You start to struggle to stay sharp during meetings, maybe in this podcast, like trying to actually absorb the information in this podcast becomes difficult. Actually, what happens to a lot of people is you will decrease your level of what's called incidental activity. And that happens because that's your brain's hardwired survival way of trying to keep you alive. What it will actually do is make you fidget less. It'll sit you down on the couch to try to stop you from losing weight. Here's a big one. Now, you guys in Better Body Academy, are you feeling this right now? If you're in a calorie deficit, your workouts tend to leave you sorer for longer. You don't bounce back like you perhaps once did. You might feel a little bit stiff or sluggish, and your libido might actually just take a hit, especially if you're in an aggressive deficit. You feel tired, not frisky, right? And so I've gone through a list here because this is where most people break, and this is why most people break. Hunger pops up, cravings hit, you get busy, the kids get sick, work stress goes nuts, and suddenly you're face deep in a bowl of ice cream and wondering what happened, right? Most people don't mess up because they don't not understand calories and macros. They mess up because life throws us 50 reasons to not stay in a deficit every day. Can I repeat that, guys? It's most people, it's not that they don't understand what to do, it's that life throws them 50 reasons or 50 temptations or justifications or excuses or whatever you want to call them to stop doing it. Emotional pressure, social pressure, Friday night, we're getting to the end of the week here, aren't we? Right? So it's the kind of like, you deserve it mindset that starts kicking in. And let's be honest, we live in a world that's built for overeating. It's perfect for overeating. Fast food, Uber Eats, big refrigerators, fucking shopping trolleys, which are the size of SUV cars, there's snacks on every shelf. Meanwhile, trying to be in a calorie deficit is like trying to walk a tightrope. It is extremely freaking hard. So let's talk about this, like, getting shredded secret. I used to believe that people that got shredded or lost a lot of weight, they kind of knew something magical. Maybe they had like this biohack, or maybe they were doing some extreme fasting protocol, or they've got this metabolism boosting cheat code. I thought, surely it just can't be the fact that they're in a calorie deficit. There's got to be more to it. But here's what I learned the hard way, and I'm learning it again right now, is that the before photo of you and the after photo of you, the only difference is just you managed to suck it up for longer. You managed to tolerate the boredom, the hunger, and the social sacrifice potentially for months. And you didn't bail when it gets tough. You didn't say, you said no to the pizza again and again. You built discipline. It's not magic. It's mastery of monotony, if I'm just completely honest. And so right now, this morning, I stood on the scales for the 30th day running or whatever. And for the first time in 20 years, I dipped under 80 kilograms. I haven't been less than 80 kilograms in 20 years, since I was like 25. And the reason I'm doing this cut, if you're in Better Body Academy, you will remember this coincided with the workshop that I did for you guys on tracking. I wanted to prove to you that, listen, if you just track every fucking thing that you put in your mouth and you repeatedly do that, you will lose fat. And this is what I've shown. I'm down to my lowest weight in 25 years, and it's because I've tracked. Now, a lot of us are trying to be perfect at the expense of being consistent. You're trying to smash your calorie target every single day, smash every workout every single day. But then you miss one day and you throw the towel in because you feel guilty. And then you say, you know what, fuck it, I'll start Monday. Mate, that's not the problem. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. 80% consistency over 12 weeks is way better than 100% consistency over 3 days and then quitting because you couldn't keep it up. The number one goal of whatever plan that you're following, the number one goal, like everyone thinks like there's this magic workout plan or the magic meal plan or the magic fucking way to think. No, the number one most important goal of any plan, any program is adherence. Adherence. What this means is actually, it can be the best fucking plan in the world, but if you don't stick to it, you don't get the results. So it's adherence, not intensity. It's consistency. Think about brushing your teeth, right? You don't just skip it because you're not in the mood. You just kind of fucking do it regardless of how you feel. And that's how we want to approach fat loss. We don't have to necessarily love every step. It doesn't have to be exciting. It's kind of like brushing your teeth. It's boring, but you do the things that you have to do, like go for a walk, go to the gym a few days a week, eat the same foods over and over again. And I'm going to give you some strategies next. You don't need excitement. You need a routine that you can stick to, which is what we mean by adherence. So let's go into some strategies to make it simpler and stickier for that matter. Okay. How do you make fat loss suck less so you don't quit? Here we go. Number one, repeat meals. Repeat meals. You might have heard of something called decision fatigue. This is when over the course of a day, if at every meal you've got to think, all right, what am I going to eat now? All right, what am I going to eat now? Or what am I going to eat now? That's exhausting. If instead of having to make the decision, what am I going to eat now? What am I going to eat now? You just eat the same thing every day. You've just simplified it. You've taken out the decision fatigue. And we know that we get decision fatigue when we're in a calorie deficit because we're tired, right? So if we can just take out another variable and just repeat it, this is the key to losing the fat. Number two, we need to eat simple. If it is hard and you're tired, you're not going to do it. You just won't do it. So when I say eat simple, here's what I want you to think about. I want you to think about whole foods, right? Whole foods. Now, I've said this till I'm black and blue in the face. Literally, this should be your cooking at night. Because you're going to say, well, I don't have time, right? This is what you do. You get a steak and you throw it in the air fryer with some potatoes and some corn. And then you get a packed salad and you throw that on the plate as well. 10 minutes. That is how you eat for fat loss. When you can't be bothered doing that, you go to your freezer, you open the freezer, you pull out a frozen meal, you put it in the microwave, and you take away all the thinking. It's the same frozen meal that you've eaten 13,000 times before, so you know the calories and the macros are perfect. So you just heat it up. And you think to yourself, fuck it, I can't be bothered tonight. I'll just do that. Simple eating means frozen veggies. It means packed salads. And you don't have an air fryer, you are killing yourself. Literally, air frying, you could do anything in an air fryer. You just literally close it up. Let's talk about planning your meals. We need to offset the extra calories that probably all of us are going to have this weekend because we're going to want to socialize. You need to offset them through some things like meal skipping, as an example. So for me, I'm going out for a beautiful romantic dinner with my wife tonight, and I'm sitting at about 954 calories right now. And for me, it's 1:45 p.m. Okay? I'm going out for dinner at 5 p.m. So I've allowed myself just over 1,000 calories at the restaurant. I'm not going to track those calories. Why? Because I want to fucking enjoy the company. I want to have a good time. I'm just going to allow myself around 1,000 calories. But I've got that because I planned it out. If I didn't plan it out, then I would be, oh, what's in this? Like, I remember going over it. Then I wouldn't be enjoying it. Does this make sense? So we need to plan ahead. And we do that for our weekends as well, because the weekends are usually the thing that brings most people unstuck. Let's talk about tracking your food. We'll go back to the whole perfection versus consistency thing. So many people try to track every single meal, every single item, including every single bit of thing that slips past their lips. And guess what? They just get overwhelmed. So here's what you do. You track as much as you can. You get in the consistency of tracking one meal at least a day. Here's what I find myself doing. Okay, now this isn't going to help with your 7-day average on MyFitnessPal if you like that, but here's what I do. I know that my meal at nighttime is going to be about 600 calories of meat. Doesn't matter really what it is. It's going to be 600 calories worth of meat. It's going to be 150 calories worth of carbs and then a sprinkling of some salad. So call it 750 calories. So what I'll do is I will track up till afternoon tea, as in like about now. I will track and I will make sure that I'm sitting at about 1,250 calories by afternoon tea. And then at nighttime, I'll just eat my fucking dinner and spend the time with my kids and my family and not worry about tracking the last meal. But I know roughly what's in the last meal. So I know that if I'm at 1,250 calories at 5 p.m., then as long as I don't go and smash a bunch of desserts after it, I've hit my 2,000 calories for the day. You've got to pre-commit your meals. If you're just trusting the hangry you, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. Couple of final points is you're trying to lose fat. You're not going into hibernation. And so, if you're feeling full, you can actually leave some food on your plate and have it tomorrow. It's not the biggest deal if you've got leftovers. And finally, let's find some dopamine. Let's find that sugar hit in something other than just food. Maybe it's like jumping in your pool or going for a walk or watching the NRL or listening to a podcast. These are ways that I distract myself from thinking about food. So as we bring this podcast to a close, what I do want to talk about is we've made a list and made a really good argument as to why calorie deficits are really difficult, right? We've talked about them right throughout this podcast. The sacrifice is not optional. If you want to get down to whatever body ideal you have, the sacrifice is not optional. There's going to be a payoff with this. It's the price of entry. No one wants to admit that, is that you will have to sacrifice. People get all emotional and shit about their calorie deficit. It's like, dude, like you got to sacrifice. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to feel fun. It's going to require you to make some decisions because you are running out of petrol. Like, think of it like your car is stopped and you're pressing the accelerator and it's not moving. That's because it's got no petrol. So if you think of your body like a car, you're out of petrol. It's hard. You're going to have to say no to things that you want in the moment for something you want more. You're going to feel like you're hungry. You're going to feel like quitting. That's the cost of changing your body. And most people don't have the adherence or the commitment to doing that. And just like building a business or raising kids or improving your marriage, you do not get better without discomfort. Does that resonate? If your marriage sucks, you can't just wake up tomorrow morning and expect it's going to be better. You have to do the work. If you want to build a business, one of my experiences is that I thought that I worked hard for an employer. I thought I was the hardest working employee in the world. I work 150,000 times harder for my own business. You are going to work so bloody hard, it's not funny. So the final question that I'm going to have for you is, is it even worth it to you? I think we can't have this discussion about sacrifice without saying, is it actually worth it? This is where you've got to be honest with yourself. And to all the guys and girls that are watching this inside of Better Body Academy on our Facebook group, I want to ask you directly the question. You've got to be honest with yourself. Step back and look at your entire life. Are abs, visible abs, really worthwhile? Are they an attainable goal when you're perimenopausal and you can't even sleep? Once you've lost the first 10 kilograms and you're not in so much pain and energy drain, is it worth going after the last 10 kilograms if it means you do have to be consistent with saying no? I can't answer that for you. If the answer is no, it's not worth it. That's okay. That doesn't make you a bad person. If the answer is no, that's fine. It's better to set the expectations and the goals around what you want, not what you saw on social media from some person that you don't even know whether that actually made them happy or they're actually a fucking depressed mess. You've got to set your own goals. You can be strong, confident, happy without getting shredded. It's very possible. But if you're striving for this certain ideal and that striving creates shitty mental health for you, well, perhaps a better goal would just be to be healthy in however you define health. But you got to go at this eyes wide open. For me, I'm personally just hardwired. I don't know where it comes from. I'm guessing it's because I have an immigrant dad that was effectively an orphan when he arrived in Australia and he passed on his values to me. I just want to test myself for the sheer fucking hell of it. I just want to do hard things just because, to prepare myself. But that doesn't make me better or worse than anyone else. If you keep saying you want a certain physical look, there is going to be a cost in sacrifice, consistency, patience, and it won't be fun sometimes. It won't be fun sometimes, and it's okay if it's not fun. It's okay. You're not going to die. It just won't be fun. You just won't be able to eat the pizza. I'm doing this podcast because for the first time in a long time, I'm really feeling what you, my clients, and you, the followers, actually feel. And I think it's important to talk about this openly because getting in shape is rarely about what you know. It's about what you're willing to endure. It's about, can you tolerate it? It's about, can you say no now to look better, perhaps feel better in a few months' time when it starts showing up? It's simple. A calorie deficit is simple, but it's far from easy. And that's why being in our community is an amazing way to create accountability and support. Guys, this has been the Better Body Academy podcast, coming to you with a simple but challenging episode. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you want to listen to more episodes of the podcast and you're not in Better Body Academy, you can go to any podcast player and find 400 plus episodes of the podcast by searching Better Body Academy podcast. Guys, thanks for watching, listening in, and I'll see you in the next episode. All right, team. What's going on? Good morning. Craig says, one of the best I've listened to, mate. Champion. Well, Craig, this is because you're doing it, mate. You're doing it. You know it's fucking tough, right? You've got the results because you've been willing to push yourself. Look, I'm going to just be really, really honest. I love at the moment just seeing the results. I'm starting to get like those little veins in the bottom part of my abs, and I've never had those in the morning. I've never had those before. It's like I love that. I'm like, wow, I can see the progress. But I'm also like, holy fuck, I just want to eat everything. Like I just want to eat everything. Like I'm having to decide at the moment between my morning latte on skim milk of 200 calories and another instant coffee at 20 calories. And that's a decision that no one wants to make, right? I'm having to decide, do I have the extra carbs on my dinner plate at night, or do I just have salad so I hit my target, I come in under my target? These are sacrifices, and some people don't want to make them, and that's not a criticism at all. Adsy says, I loved it. Nice work, Adsy. I appreciate you, brother. What else we got coming in here? Good morning, Rose. How are you, mate? Hope you're good. Good morning from New Zealand. Hey, Rochelle, how are you, buddy? Amy's in the house. Megan's in here. Yeah, Erin is a great example. So Coach Erin says, I've eaten the exact same meal for lunch and dinner for the past 2 months because I don't have to think. There you go, team. That's what it is. Good morning, Vicky. How are you, babe? I add ice cream into my MyFitnessPal at the start of the day so I don't have to miss out on it. How good is that? All good, Jimmy. Love you, brother. The results drove through. Yeah, still got 40 kilos to lose before that decision. Tina, you're doing incredibly well, my friend. I appreciate your passion this morning, Sandy. I'm always going to bring it, man. I'm always going to bring it. All right, guys. I think Dino says, enjoy the suck of a deficit. Yeah, and the food noise is tough to handle. What do we got? Jenko says, hey, mate, what time is it in Van? It is 2 p.m. What's the best app for tracking calories? Oh, dude, there's like tons of them. I just use the most popular one, which is MyFitnessPal. And the reason is because it's probably got the biggest database, and talk about stickiness. I've just got used to using it. Does anyone use anything that's not MyFitnessPal? I know that there are a ton of different options, but yeah, I just use MyFitnessPal, and I use the basic version as well. I noticed in the basic version, I'm going to upgrade to premium now, because in the basic version, you used to be able to enter the number accurately for the weight, but unfortunately they've turned it into this bloody dial that's really freaking annoying to use. So yeah, that's what I do, dude. Mr. Maps says, hey, I eat a whole pizza for around 660 calories, 60 grams of protein. Yeah, I'm very well aware of the FroPro range, man. And you know what? FroPro ice cream used to be amazing. What happened to it? Like in Australia, what happened to it? FroPro and Halo Top seem to be on the back burner. And I think that is because the ice cream market is so competitive. The low calorie ice cream market's so competitive, and then it's just really hard to keep up. But yeah, and what I like about that as well, so Mr. Maps, is that it's what you're talking about, 660 calories and 60 grams of protein. That's a 10-to-1 ratio in protein to calories, and that's exactly what you want. If you can get any frozen meal that's a 10-to-1 ratio, that's perfect. That's what you want. So as an example, if you go to Coles or you go to Whole Foods, doesn't matter what it is, and you pull something out of the freezer and it's 700 calories, chop the last number off, the 0, that'll give you 70. You want 70 grams of protein in that meal. If it's 500 grams of protein, you want 50 grams of protein in that meal. This will allow you to hit your protein target without going over your calories consistently. And so what you've found there, dude, is a very, very good one. Well done, man. Well done. Guys, got any questions? Hello, Nico. How are you, mate? I'm going to give you a call after this, Nico, because I missed you. What's going on, guys? Any other questions you want to ask? Or are we ready to rock and roll? All right, I'm going to take that's it. Hopefully you guys enjoy the podcast. I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.